It is now my responsibility to announce that Cabinet has met and considered the COVID-19 pandemic, and we have decided that using our own law, as you know, ABG has its own power to declare a state of emergency, which is also consistent with the national government law, and we have decided that certain measures will be taken to effectively control the spread of this disease. As we know, we don't have, the scientists have not discovered the cure for this disease, so the best thing we can do under the circumstances is to try to contain it so it doesn't spread and affect the greater population. In our case, the emergency will affect congregation of big groups, affect markets, shopping, churches, and the coming election. The ABG has decided that the writ cannot be issued before 21 days, and therefore the elections will be delayed as a consequence of the issue of writ. So, as we all know we've heard from the Prime Minister's statement, this is a very serious matter, and all Bougainvilleans must take effective and necessary measures to control this disease. And hopefully the scientists will, of course, come up with the appropriate treatment to put a stop to it. But at this juncture, I'd like to say that it is important that we inform the total population of Bougainville that it is incumbent on each and every one of us, especially leaders and heads of departments and others, to inform the public that this is a major pandemic, and we must take very serious measures to control it. I think Bougainvilleans have demonstrated a sense of responsibility over a lot of issues before, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, and I think we can do it this time by adhering to these strict measures that the Assistant Controller, the task force will be issuing to the people of Bougainville to make sure that we protect the people from the spread of this pandemic. We are lucky that we have our own law. Other provinces don't have an emergency. They don't have the power to declare separate emergencies, which we have. In our case, we have, and it will, under this law, we are now declaring that the writ will not be issued before 21 days, and it will be subject to renewal, and Parliament will be called upon to meet and make the decision whether to extend it or not. So with those few words, I want to say that we must take it very, very seriously to protect our population, our people, because of the lack of facilities. We have lack of facilities and lack of funds, which will be needed to embark on a massive mobilization program to contain this virus. The control and the task force will, of course, be implementing the government policies which BEC has decided to have, and also the implementation of the directives as issued by the Prime Minister of the country. And so I'm just being reminded by the Minister that under the National Government Emergency Declaration, the Police Chief will be the Controller, and the Acting Chief Secretary will be the Assistant Controller in our situation in Bougainville. Controller will have his say tomorrow. He will call a press conference to announce his plan of implementing the government policies which this government has decided upon today. Yeah, the detailed emergency orders will be announced by the controller. Thank you very much. Task Force Committee Chairman and Minister of Health. And the controller, of course.